Hello, welcome to Beauty Wise 333, and my name is Tina if this is your first time joining. I am so glad to be here to give you this message. This was a download given to me 2 days ago to bring this message to you. There are those out there who are struggling with disagreements and turbulence in their marriages, in their relationships, and most of all, within themselves. The message today is on contracts. People seem to think that there are only verbal and written contracts. No, there are also spiritual contracts, and you really need to know what you're signing up for. We're going to start off with a scenario, and this seems to happen to many men and women, and some of them are still walking in the fog and not really knowing, but I'm here to shed some light on it. Let's just give an example. You've been married for a few years, and you like to sometimes hang out with the guys. And this is not gender specific, so please put yourself where you may. You can change the genders. You go to a club, you're having fun with your guy friends or your girlfriends, and you seem to pursue or be pursued by someone that is interested in you in that club. Now, we must always protect our energy. But when you're in the club, you're drinking or whichever, you become more vulnerable to circumstances that you may not be aware of. You see, because there are people out there that already have premeditated agendas before you even walked into that club. They size you up. They know how to lure you in. And sometimes, if you're not careful of watching, they can even put something in your drink or in your food. You wind up getting into a situation or an entanglement that you weren't quite banking on. Now, you may think, okay, well, you know, things got heated up and I can get away with this, nobody will know. But did you know that once you proceed to exchange energies, especially sexual energies, some of these people have entities on them. And that is what they're transferring to you. And after that night out with the guys, you don't understand what's the pull and why you feel so pull to go back towards this person and to keep in contact with the person and just start making irrational choices to be with this person. You become under some sort of mind control. You see, because there are lower energies out there that work through people to get to you, to break up your home, to cause you to have sexual demons, which turn into addictions. And those addictions are very hard to fight, especially when you don't know What's happening to you? I'm here to shed the light on it. And it's funny because the first 3 or 4 years of your marriage, you all were doing beautiful. And it was this one incident, entanglement, that broke everything up. And now you can't seem to stop doing what you started doing. And what happens from there? You're constantly going back to that same situation, and that energy vampire is draining you. Now, if this is a succubus or a Jezebel, she's got her claws, or he has got his claws in you. Because they don't care whether you're married, have a happy relationship. They see what they want and they plot for it, and no matter what, at any expense, they will get it. Especially if you are not aware of these spiritual contracts. You don't know how many people each and every day are signing spiritual contracts that they're not aware of what they're signing. And then it's really strange when you figure out you do have a problem because you love your wife or your husband, so you go for counseling. And then you tell the counselor you have a sexual addiction. There's the claim. You don't have a sexual addiction, you have an entity attached to you, which keeps you in that karmic cycle that you just got yourself into and have no idea how you landed there. And that entity is smart because now you're claiming it. Anybody that you're telling your problem, you're saying, I have a sexual addiction. So if you have something, it belongs to you. I'm putting the light on this because some of you, just by listening to this message, will be able to release those sexual demons. Because for the ones that are not aware of this, they start having more and more compulsive behaviors, which then will turn to another addiction, alcohol to suppress it, maybe pill popping to suppress it, maybe video pornography to suppress it, to keep it fed. Let's face it, you were not born with a sexual addiction. You were learned it, you were given that entity, and you have no clue that that is what's happening to you. Now, I'm not saying don't go for counseling because you don't have a sexual addiction. It depends on what you are aware of, what you know, and I'm hoping that this information cures you, breaks the chain, get yourself out of it. Prayer is definitely going to help. But it's like when you go to that counselor, if they ain't a priest, they ain't gonna understand what is happening. We have to protect our energy and be strong. Because there are those energies that are looking for those people to feed off of. Take you out of your families, separate them, use you all up, and then discard you, or set you up, or your family up. It gets that deep, believe it. And another sad part to this, we have those children that are affected by sexual predators at a young age. They get to these children before they're even sure about who they are, and it messes with their identity of gender. They were affected before they even knew. And they were told by this sexual predator, don't say anything. It's our secret. Don't you tell anyone, or this will happen, or that'll happen. So imagine in a child's mind that they're told this information and they kept it to themselves. So they're living in shame, in guilt. They're hurt. Their spirit is broken. They never reach out to anyone. And it just starts coming out in different ways. And if they've never spoken to anyone from a child up to an adult, so it's not that you necessarily received that entity in a club at an adult age hanging out with your friends. You could be carrying this all the way from childhood, from sexual predators intruding on your livelihood. Release it. Because if you can understand what I'm saying, you can overstand the demon and break free. It's an illusion. But where the healing starts, I'm going to say it, you need to forgive your predator. And it doesn't mean that you have to call up the predator, because it could have been years ago. They could be dead somewhere already. The forgiving is between you and you. Because if you don't forgive that predator, that's another hold on you. And you won't be able to release that guilt, that shame, that entity, or anything that is destructing your spirit. And forgive the predator, because hurt people, and more than likely, the predator had these things happen to them as well. So it becomes a vicious cycle. It's called generational curses. It goes on within the family, the incest, the rapes, the predatory natures, and it goes on and on. You can be the first one to break that generational curse. Let it go. I'm shining light on it to give you the tools that you need to set yourself free. There's nothing wrong with you. You've been hurt. You've been abused. You've been treated wrong. But because you did not have this light and this information that you are receiving, you kept it deep down, inside and buried. And you would take it to your grave. But look at how you're living your life in turmoil, unable to have healthy relationships. Your language of love is all discombobulated. But you can change that. You can change that today. Know who you are and understand that what happened to you is not who you are. It is just something that happened to you. And it happened to you for a reason. It had to do with soul evolution. Receive the lesson and release it, so that you can receive your blessing. And your blessing is freedom from it. You don't have to keep hiding it and holding it and protecting it, because those entities are very manipulative and they know how to have you hold on to them tightly, protect them, hide them, keep them in there. And meanwhile, they are running havoc through your life. And then your children, they see how you conduct yourself, what you're doing. There's the generational curse. Then they continue it on. And those same entities could possibly affect your children in the same way in which it affected you. Break those chains. You don't have to hold on to it any longer. It does not belong to you. It is not you. It's something that happened to you, and you can release it. And you might be surprised that once you release that, all the other addictions that came along with it that you were using to try to suppress it will disappear as well. This was a message that really needed to be given here. Because family and treasured relationships are something that will keep you strong. You don't want to end up in the karmic cycle. You don't want to have to keep repeating this same thing over and over again and seeing it happen through your family. You can be the one to let it go. Shed light and love and forgiveness on the darkness that you hold within you. And then give it light and love and send it back out into the universe. I'm going to now give you the light. You are loved. And with this message, you are being guided. You have nothing to be ashamed of. The sensations that you feel pull towards and just bogging you down is all in the entity and the experience that you're going through. You could have received it as a child, or you could have accumulated it as an adult. Because in both of those scenarios are how we get into spiritual contracts that we don't even know that we're getting ourselves into. And don't forget, the negative entity that was in that club that lured you in, the more you hang around that person, the more losses you will see happening in your life. And to the people that are in close proximity to you that you love, because that's how it operates. It sucks all of your energy and takes from you what it wants. And then it works through those that you love. And you'll notice yourself losing everything that you possibly worked so hard to achieve. But we can change that now and going forward, because you know, you are aware, and you can't unsee what you are going to see. So I take this light and I shine it on the dark depths of your soul and your hurt and abused spirit. That this light will give you the strength to release whatever is holding you. And that you are able to understand so that you can overstand and take control of your life. This is what they call part of the shadow work. You ever walk and see the shadow is on the outside of you? Yeah. But when that shadow enters on the inside of you, it does not belong. Release it. Put it out. This light is given to you with love and guidance so that you may be able to conquer your demons and send them away with light and love to go back where they came from, because they do not belong to you. So remember to stop claiming them. Don't say I have a sexual problem. I have, because anything you have belongs to you and will stay with you. And I'm going to give you one last tip for this. If you can, for the next 3 nights, take an Epsom salt bath. Each bath, no more than 15 to 20 minutes, but a nice Epsom salt bath, and safely burn a white candle while you're bathing. And before you step in that tub, say the Our Father, Lord's Prayer. And when you come out of that tub, say the prayer again and give your intention and speak to God or whoever your higher power is that you pray to, your guardian angels, your sweet spirits, and you ask them for their guidance and clear those remnants of the energies that you're going to be dropping. And that's what the Epsom salt baths are going to do. Let's start from there. I love you so much. And God loves you even more, if there's any such thing as even more. And yes, it is, because God has the most beautiful and omnipotent, omnipresent love that there ever is, and will be there to guide you. You are guided. So I'm going to end this message here, and you already know this message was given to me to give to you from my ancestors, my guardian angels, my sweet spirits. And God told me to tell you, because He wants you to ascend. He wants you to get what you came here for, which is everything that your heart desires. And this is a step of doing shadow work to get you on that road. So just remember, this message was given to you in love, light, and beauty from BeautyWise 333. And I am just going to keep on loving on you until the next time. Love always.